In part 1, we explained how a majority of the Bears Ears National Monument area reopened to new mining claims, a decision taken by President Trump. And we went to stake one ourselves. For some insight, I called up a professional miner at Energy Fuels, the company that operates the Dineros uranium mine, which is adjacent to the original monument boundaries.
Speaking of mining claim, I think people have maybe kind of an exaggerated view of what that really means. You know, they equate a mining claim with like a future mine.
So what's a mining claim? In Utah, it's a $212 paperwork and fieldwork process where you call dibs to the valuable minerals in the ground. But the land is owned by the government, so you have to interface with them.
Filing a mining claim is step number 1 out of about a 1,000,000-step process and probably 10 to 20 years to get actually a mine opened.
So if this is the first step out of many, how easy is it?
It's not that hard to file a mining claim. Pretty much any U.S. individual or company is allowed to do that.
I'm not an American citizen, but thankfully, companies have the same rights as individuals, so NBC Left Field will be staking this claim, as I could legally not.
How do you decide where to put your claim? Well, that's really up to you. Personally, I want it to be as close to the Dineros uranium mine as possible, but within the original boundaries set by President Obama, and close to a road. How do you stake land? Start with your discovery monument, where you think you've discovered your valuable mineral. I chose a wooden stake with some team merch, but you can use a stone mound. That counts too. Then you stake your 4 corners, and you have to measure out how far you're walking and which cardinal direction you're walking.
North, right? And then that way, and then that way.
I used a measured piece of jute twine, which I bought at a hardware store, but there are probably more sophisticated tools out there. So how are you going to notify the government where your claim is? There are like no markings out there. You're just in like this expanse of millions of acres. There is not a single straight natural line in Bears Ears, and yet, mining claims are governed by a very strict grid system. And if you are actually interested in prospecting on government land, you need to listen closely. This map covers 7 million acres of land in southeast Utah, and I'm looking to stake exactly 20. Each of these boxes is called a township.
This is a township, and then within this township, there are 36 sections.
A section is 1 square mile.
Within each section, there are 4 quarters. Within each quarter, there is another quarter, and it goes down and down and down.
Until you hit tiny 20-acre parcels.
So,
simultaneously, you must also figure out what's still available.
That land probably already had hundreds, if not thousands, of mining claims already filed on it.
All existing active claims were grandfathered in when President Obama created the Bears Ears National Monument. When President Trump shrunk it a year later, a lot of those claims would still be there. They would still hold. They might not all be active, but that's your job to figure out.
welcome to the LR2000.
Okay, if you are still watching this nerdy tutorial, I have news for you. If you really want to understand mining claims, you are going to spend a very long time with this lovely government database that basically holds all the records for all activity happening in the public lands of America. And sadly, I cannot be your expert on this. But the goal is to basically input this little grid system into the database to see what other claims are in the area. Then, to be extra sure, you have to go to the local county recorder's office, which in this case is in Monticello, Utah. Go into their database, pull all the active mining claims, plot those out on a map as well, so you're absolutely sure what's available. And then what?
So you've got a mining claim.
Check. 1. New. Yeah, brand new.
It doesn't give you a whole lot of rights. Now you need to go explore it. Well, you're going to have to go get permits in order to really turn a spade of dirt on that land.
Okay, so you're saying this could be an extended journalistic project?
Yes, it'll be very extended.
Truthfully, I was so confused by this entire process, I never even submitted my claim. So why would you do this? Why would you even stake land? You wouldn't. As we explained in part 1, even the activists who came out here to stake land found out it doesn't protect anything. And there's nothing of value in the ground, so you'll probably never convince the government to actually let you open a mine. Even Energy Fuels supports a mining ban in the original Bears Ears National Monument area. The thing to watch will be the mega lawsuits that are brewing in Washington over Bears Ears and the future of America's national monuments. If you're interested in more stories about public lands and the Bureau of Land Management, click here to watch a video about America's wild horses.